tier ranking. I'm just doing a tier ranking of all the Star Wars movies, from best to worst, and just gonna talk about them, all 11 of these movies. So yeah, let's get started. Obviously, the best one, you all know what it is. It's The Empire Strikes Back. This movie is so perfect. Everything about this movie is so epic, and I'm just gonna say, it's not just my favorite Star Wars movie. It's my favorite movie of all time, period. It's so amazing. It's such an epic, it's so epic. It's like, everything about this movie is great. Han Solo shines in this movie, and that fight scene with Luke and Darth Vader, it's like one of the greatest scenes in movie history, and this movie is so action packed, and it has like the best movie plot line. It has one of the best movie plot lines. This movie is it's so fucking amazing. It's such an epic masterpiece. It's so fucking amazing. I love this movie. It's so great. And it's a very, very good movie. It's so perfect. The pacing is perfect. And everyone shines in this movie. Everyone is great in this movie. It's so fucking amazing. I love this movie. It's awesome. And behind the Empire would have to be Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars is almost as good as The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it started the whole Star Wars franchise. It's so amazing as well. This movie changed. This movie changed like movies and stuff. It was done so. It was the highest movie of all at the box office when it came out in 1977. This movie's so great. This is another really great Star Wars movie. This is great, and every time it opens up with the stormtroopers and Darth Vader, it always gives me goosebumps. These two Star Wars movies just always give me the goosebumps. They're great. This one's one of the greatest movies. The first Star Wars movie is one of the greatest movies of all time, and this movie, and The Empire Strikes Back, is the greatest movie of all time. It's The Empire Strikes Back, and the very first Star Wars movie is great too. These two movies are really great. Love them. Then at the end, and then I would have to put Force Awakens at the A tier. Yes, I love Force Awakens as well. Actually, sorry, I'll put that in the S tier. Yes, Force Awakens is also a really great movie as well. I love the Force Awakens. Everyone, I love Finn is my favorite out of the newer Star Wars characters, and I like Rey too. She's badass, but Finn he's my favorite out of the modern Star Wars characters, and of course Han Solo back in this movie, he shines, and it's a damn good movie. It was a damn good movie it was a damn good movie after the original trilogy. This movie's also really great too. I would say it is definitely the best modern Star Wars movie, but I did love The Force Awakens, and Kylo Ren is one of the best Star Wars movie villains, and this is another damn good Star Wars movie. And then I'd have to put Rogue One, Star Wars Story, in the A tier. Yes, I did really like Rogue One as well. I thought that was a really good movie as well. I thought it had one of the best endings in movie history, because it started off where Star Wars, the very first one, started, and this is where it ended here. And it's a good movie, Star Wars movie to start with if you haven't seen any Star Wars movies. It's great. Rogue One, great movie. Then I'd have to put the Return of the Jedi at the A tier. Yes, Return of the Jedi was also a pretty good movie. I did enjoy Return of the Jedi. It's not as good as the first two movies in the original trilogy. I mean, it was good and all. It was a really good movie. I would just say I really liked. I really liked Return of the Jedi. It just. I thought there were a few scenes though, like the scene with all the aliens and Jabba. That was just very cringy. That part was cringy, but very cheesy on that part. But everything else was pretty good. I loved all the action scenes in this movie, and it just yeah, Return of the Jedi is a good movie. It's a really good Star Wars movie. I do really like Return of the Jedi. And then I'd have to put The Last Jedi here at the B tier. The Last Jedi was enjoyable. I thought it was a pretty fun movie. I had fun with The Last Jedi. It was I had some fun with it. I liked I thought it was cool to see all the characters back, like Rey and Finn. But Finn is just he's amazing. I love Finn. It's just I didn't really like the ending to this movie though, but I still really liked this. I still had a fun time with it. Then behind that would have to be Revenge of the Sith. Yes, I did like Revenge of the Sith as well. I thought that was a really good Star Wars movie as well. It's weird because it was actually the third installment of the prequel trilogy, but it was good, and the first two weren't. It's usually the other way around with trilogies. And it usually is, but it wasn't with this movie. And yeah, so yeah, Revenge of the Sith. It's actually surprisingly great. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not great, but it is good. It is a good movie. Revenge of the Sith was good. And then at the C tier would have to be Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yes, this movie was unnecessary, but the reason why I didn't love this movie because you know no one can ever be as good as Harrison Ford was as Han Solo. Harrison Ford nailed it as Han Solo. He was so amazing. This movie was unnecessary. It was all right. It wasn't a necessary movie, but it was all right. And then here would have to be Rise of Skywalker. Yes, Rise of Skywalker was a little bit disappointing. I remember actually enjoying it when it first came out, but I look back at it, I just wasn't the humongous fan of this movie because it had some plot lines that didn't make sense. Like, I just thought it was lame how they brought Palpatine back. That was just completely unnecessary. I didn't like how they brought Palpatine back. That was lame. But yeah, no, there were some stuff I liked about it. Like, they had some good action scenes, but, it was just, there was too many plot holes. I just wasn't crazy about this movie. And then at the D tier, I'm just gonna put both prequels in here. Yes, I wasn't. See, it's weird because as I said earlier, the first two were not good. The first two of the prequels were not good, but the third one was. It's usually the other way around. Like the first two Star Wars movie and the sequel trilogy. In the sequel trilogy, Force Awakens was really great. The Last Jedi was a good movie, and then Rise of Skywalker wasn't so good. And that's how it usually is with trilogies. It's like that also with a bunch of other movies, but it was weird how these movies here were not good, but the third one in the prequel trilogy was. I can't think of any other movie trilogies that are like that. It's just, these movies were just, I did not like Jar Jar Binks, and all the other, like, Jabba the Hutt, see, I had a little bit of a problem with, as I said earlier, I mean, I do, as much as I like Return of the Jedi, I just had a little bit of a problem with, like, all the villains, I mean, not the villains, but, all the aliens, like Jabba the Hutt, and just all the other aliens, it was completely unnecessary to have them, too many of them in there, But you see, they were like that in the prequel trilogy. Like, it had Jabba the Hutt in there too much, and Jar Jar Binks. There was too many of those weird aliens. See, Jabba the Hutt was only in the first Star Wars movie for only like 2 minutes. See, that's a little different. That's a little different. Like, he's just not in the movie too much, but he was in Return of the Jedi a little bit more than he needed to be, and he was in these two movies too much as well. It just, these prequel movies, I just was not crazy about. They are completely forgettable, very forgettable. Yeah. So yeah, those were my tier rankings of all the Star Wars movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me if you agree with this. If not, give me your tier rankings. Give me your rankings of all the Star Wars movies from best to worst, and just comment below. Let me know. And if you like this, please subscribe to. Please hit that like and subscribe. All right.